You know, the one thing markets dislike more than anything is uncertainty. That's the problem, right? So the reason why markets don't move is because markets don't like uncertainty. And the big problem for us is that we're in a period where we're in peak uncertainty. I mean, the truth is, markets don't even know if we're in a bull market or a bear market. And the market will only resolve this thing when the uncertainty resolves and there's some kind of direction in the market. So today I think we need to look at all the sources of the uncertainty and when they can resolve themselves so that the market actually gets direction. And then we will know when we can expect a move in the market. Because I don't know about you guys, but these markets, every single day, moving sideways and maybe slightly down, isn't a great place to be. But the good thing is I know it's going to end soon, and I'm going to show you exactly when it's going to end and when this uncertainty is actually going to resolve itself. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. You're helping me get to 1.16 million subscribers, right? You are helping me get to 1.16 million subscribers. I'm bringing you free alpha every single day. Let's get the show on the road, guys. Markets really dislike uncertainty. And as I said, we're in the highest uncertainty period that I think we've ever been in. Well, not we've ever been in, but certainly it's a crazy period of uncertainty, right? And I think the reason why it's such a big period of uncertainty is because it starts at a macro level where no one knows what the hell's going on. I mean, for one, as I said before, I don't know if people even know whether we're in a bull market or a bear market. I'll ask this question. 59% of people say that we're in a Bitcoin bull market, 40.3 say that we're in a bear market. And that's, I think this poll has got 23 hours left to go. I mean, people don't know if there's tariffs, if there's no tariffs. Suppliers don't know whether to charge for tariffs or no tariffs. I mean, just look at this thing over here. This guy says, for what it's worth, I got a $600 tariff bill on my spring tea from my tea shop. My distributor agreed to pay 25% for a month. He rescinded the tariffs 3 days later, but because it's already went through customs, I still have to pay. And it, I mean, just shows that this uncertainty that Trump is giving the markets about whether there's going to be tariffs, or whether there's not going to be tariffs, whether there's going to be peace in Ukraine and Russia, whether there's not going to be peace in Ukraine and Russia, is not something that the market likes. And the problem is that when the markets are uncertain, markets tend to bleed downwards, which is exactly what's happening. So you can see that, as I mentioned, the NASDAQ, we got a little bit of a recovery yesterday. Nothing spectacular. I mean, we went up about 0.5% yesterday. Now we're again starting to come down ahead of, again, more uncertainty, which is the FOMC, the FOMC, which is happening tomorrow. We're going to talk about that in a second. So I just think that we're in a period of uncertainty, and we need to understand when this uncertainty is going to pass. So let's quickly look at what the sources of the uncertainty are. But before we do, I need you guys to obliterate the like button. Steve Simon says, even Run doesn't believe what Run is saying. I believe the market is in uncertainty. Pump Ran Man, that's great. That is from Surab. I got Fuzzy that says, yo, here to consume my daily cup of 𝗊𝗙. Is that 𝗊𝗙? Is that what I do? A 𝗊𝗙. Chop rice. I think chop rice is going to end tomorrow, guys. I think, why do I say I think it's going to end tomorrow? Tomorrow we have FOMC. What we do know, in no uncertain terms, is that there's probably not going to be any rate cuts. But we need to watch out whether the Fed actually talks about QT and ending QT tomorrow, because there's a 100% chance that the Fed is going to stop its QT before May, right? So that is what the market's pricing. The market's pricing to stop QT before May. We also got to remember that tomorrow, the most important thing about tomorrow's FOMC is actually the dot plot, right? Remember, do we have a picture of a dot plot? Let me get you guys a picture of the last dot plot. What we know for sure is that the market hates the uncertainty of not knowing where interest rates are going. So tomorrow, because it's a quarterly FOMC, there's a dot plot which is actually going to get published. Now, the dot plot is when they give every member of the Fed, they give them like a thing to vote, and they vote as to where they think the rates are going to be by the end of the year. And so what we need to see is whether it's moved. Do we have the dot plot from the last FOMC? We need to see whether the dot plot has moved from the previous FOMC meeting. In the previous FOMC meeting, the average Fed participant of the meeting voted that there's going to be one rate cut between now and the end of the year. So one rate cut is what the market was expecting. If we look at this over here, if we look at this here and we look at the probabilities according to the market, we realize that the market is expecting two rate cuts this year. So the market's expecting 2. The Fed was expecting 1. Let's see what let's just have a look here. Here's the dot plot from last time. There's a dot plot from last time. Scroll to which page? Number 4. Number 4 is not the last one, but so it's like, okay, there we go. So that was what the dot plot looked like last time. One rate cut was the median, basically. One rate cut was effectively the median. We want to see what the Fed actually does tomorrow. Now, again, we will be live here tomorrow to watch the interest rate decision and to do all of that. Look out for the link on the show tomorrow. We will be bringing that to you live. All right, so let's go back to the uncertainty. So I think with certainty, there's going to be no rate cut. With almost certainty, QT is going to end before the end of May, hopefully. Then there's going to be a period of lull. Then there's going to be QE. But I think we need to address the uncertainty because, as I said, I think what's giving the market uncertainty is no one knows what Trump's policies actually are. He threatens one thing, he revokes it. He threatens another thing, he revokes it. No one knows what's actually happening, right? And in fact, this is something that absolutely blew my mind when I saw it. The GDP readings are coming out on the 27th of March, which is 9 days from today, which is next Thursday. So next Thursday, GDP readings are coming out. The Atlanta Fed is saying that we're going to decrease by 2.1%, and the New York Fed says we're going to increase by 2.69%. Okay, you want to talk about like peak uncertainty? No one knows whether GDP is going up or down. Like, you understand? No one knows whether we're in a bull market or a bear market. Nobody knows whether GDP is going up or going down. Atlanta Fed says we're going down 2.1%. New York Fed says we're going up. The expectations are 2.3%. That was previous. And there's not even expectations on the website yet. They will be here soon. No one knows whether we're going into a recession or not. You can see that people are starting to get quite scared, or they're starting to prepare themselves for a recession. They're starting to look up the term recession. US consumer expectations about the job markets have dropped. No one knows whether they should hire or whether they should not hire, whether they should start another project or not start another project. Now remember that this uncertainty, even though it feels a bit strange, is actually exactly what Trump wants. Trump wants uncertainty. Trump wants people not to invest. He wants to slow down the economy. And so right now, his job is actually to make people feel like they don't know what's going on. And he's doing a very, very, very good job. No one knows if there's going to be jobs. No one knows if there's going to be a recession. He dodges questions about the recession. You can see that the sentiment indicator is starting to drop as a result of this. People are talking about an economic crisis. Stock markets have been here. The stock markets have been in extreme fear since February 25th, basically, which is extreme fear for the last 3 weeks. So 3 weeks, the markets have been in extreme fear because they don't know what's going on. On top of that, they're talking about peace with Russia and Ukraine. Apparently today, there is a meeting, probably a telephonic meeting. I don't think Putin's flying to the US. I don't think the US is flying to, I don't think Trump's flying to Putin. But Caroline, she has confirmed that they will be speaking.
That he will be speaking to President Putin tomorrow. I won't get ahead of those negotiations, but I can say we are on the 10th yard line of peace, and we've never been closer to a peace deal than we are in this moment. And the president, as you know, is determined to get one done.
Okay, now you've got to be very, very, very careful about this peace deal because I don't believe that peace negotiations are resolved very, very, very quickly. Polymarkets is telling us, this is actually quite interesting. So Polymarkets is actually telling us a ceasefire before the end of before the end of June is 61%. Before the end of April, 36%. And before the end of March, 13%. So they're not really looking. Let's see what happens at the end of December. 76% chance that by the end of December, there's going to be peace. I do think that this is going to be quite a long and drawn out thing. In the meantime, what the market is pricing in, quite a high probability of a ceasefire. You can see oil has gone down from, at the beginning of the year, oil was about 78. It's now at about $67. So oil is starting to price in a little bit of a ceasefire. So that's quite good. The other thing that is a little bit what's the word I was using? Where the market hasn't really decided yet, or is a little bit indecisive, is what's going to happen in Japan. Because Japan has a problem, right? The problem is that they have inflation. I want to show you the chart of inflation. I'm sure that I have it here. There we go. Japanese inflation. So the Japanese inflation is starting to become rampant, as you can see on this very, very, very white screen. That doesn't load because bad internet. Why doesn't it load? Maybe we can send us another one. So the problem is that with Japan's increasing interest rates, which are on the white screen, I promise you it's behind the white screen. No jokes. Behind this white screen is all the answers that you need about Japan. Look at the Bitcoin price dumping, 81,600. Uncertainty because of the day before FOMC. It happens every single time. Don't get shaken out by it. I do believe, oh, here's an interest rate decision for Japan. Is this for Japan? I hope it's for Japan. Japan interest rate decision. Are they going to start increasing interest rates? Not sure. So that they're having a meeting tomorrow. And people are wondering whether they're going to raise interest rates or not. I don't think they're going to raise interest rates yet, but they're going to have to raise at some point because we do have the inflation rate creeping up in Japan. So you can see the inflation rate in Japan creeping up quite a lot. I mean, 4.1%, 4%. That's like big inflation for Japan. They've never had such big inflation. So you know what happens when markets are uncertain? When markets are uncertain, they run to a hard form of assets, the safe haven asset, right? That is traditionally what markets do in areas of peak uncertainty. If you're in a bull market, markets generally go into risk on mode. They move away from uncertain proof assets. In a market where there's a lot of uncertainty, what they do is they move to hard assets, but usually hard assets that are easy to liquidate. 𝗘𝗵𝗧, I like what you're saying. I'm uncertain about this uncertainty. I'm certain that there is uncertainty. I'm just uncertain as to when this uncertainty will end. So usually what happens is people run to gold. And this is exactly what's happening. You can see gold is hitting all-time highs. Now, I think that this is hopeful for Bitcoin. And I'll tell you why I think it's hopeful for Bitcoin. I think that at some point, the market is going to pivot and is going to say, look, Bitcoin is a digital gold. Clearly, that's not the case yet. Because right now, they're pricing gold as a digital, as a VC digital asset, right? So that is how they are pricing Bitcoin at the moment. Because gold is at all-time highs. And in fact, crazy. So we know that Bitcoin usually lags gold by about 75 to 90 days. So gold goes on a run, Bitcoin usually follows between 75 and 90 days later. Gold is on a massive run. Now, you may say, well, yeah, I mean, it's a massive run, but it's not such a massive run. It is. In fact, gold is up more than Bitcoin, Sol, and Ethereum over the past year. So if you take a 12-month period for Bitcoin, gold, and Ethereum, gold is actually up more than Bitcoin, more than gold, and more than Ethereum. And actually, if you take this chart, I actually did it the other day, which is quite weird, but I mean, we'll do it anyway. So if you take BTC USD and divide it by gold, is it gold? Let's have a look here. Let's quickly look at that. Okay. Kind of weird to think that since 2021, actually, let's do it like this. Gold, easier to look at it like this, divided by BTC USD. Okay. No, it's giving. If you, anyway, let me just hold on. So it's gold divide by BTC. Let's see if that works. Yeah, I was looking at this chart, and what you can see. Okay, you can't really see it here, but actually, let's see if we can get onto a shorter time frame. Let's try the other way around. Hold on. BTC divided by gold. Okay, long story short, if you take a time frame from 2021, you can basically see that actually gold has outperformed Bitcoin since 2021. I know it sounds absolutely unbelievable, but I mean, it's crazy to think that gold is actually performing this well. And if gold is actually performing this well, then hopefully, gold 2.0 is going to start a catch-up trade at some point. Now, what would we need to get gold to Bitcoin to go on a catch-up trade towards gold? I think you'd need gold to run a little bit more, because when gold gets too expensive, people will say, okay, let's try and find somewhere else to go, and then I'll start moving money into silver into Bitcoin. I also think that there's two cohorts of investors. Silver may be up more than gold. Let's actually have a look at that. Let's go silver. Don't think so. I think gold is up more than silver. Silver divided by gold. No, I don't think it is. Been stagnant for a while, but no. So yeah. You can see that when you plot Bitcoin over gold, so in other words, if you take the chart of Bitcoin over gold, it is on a very, very, very important trend line. This is like make it or break it. Is Bitcoin digital gold? If yes, expect a bounce here. If no, expect a breakdown here. So maybe this is the chart that we should be looking at to see whether the market is pricing in Bitcoin as a digital gold. If Bitcoin is a digital gold, then we need Bitcoin to bounce off this trend line. If it's not, then let it break down below the trend line into tech stocks. So I think that is what the markets want. The market wants some kind of certainty. Let's wait until tomorrow. Hopefully the Fed will give us a little bit more clarity as to what's happening, although I'm not expecting too many fireworks. I just don't think someone says Bitcoin gold, press enter. I've already done that, sir. I've done that, sir. See, Bitcoin gold, press enter. Thank you to the amazing researchers we have. Here it is. I guess that's the trend line over here. One of the trend lines that the guys are looking at is this trend line over here. Let's quickly draw that lovely trend line. Oh, wait. I guess that's the trend line that they're looking at over here. I'm quite good at drawing. I must say, I draw tremendous trend lines. Really good trend lines. Yeah, so as you can see, as I was saying, I think right now the markets are dumping. Let's quickly look at the NASDAQ and see what's happening on the NASDAQ to see. So NASDAQ down point. Let's look at the actual stocks and look. So crypto's dead. Stocks are down. Tesla down again. $224 on Tesla today. I mean, this stock is going down and down and down. I think it's a buying opportunity of a lifetime. Palantir, $82, still quite high. Nvidia, there's the Nvidia conference, which is when? Still speaking today, so it hasn't gone up yet. You see, not a great day. This is normal. It's the uncertainty before tremendous trend line. This is the uncertainty before the FOMC meeting. Hang in there. You know what we should do? I'll tell you what we should do. Just because it's a period of uncertainty, and you know, in periods of uncertainty, we lack stimulation, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I'm getting like bored as fuck. And you? Bored, huh? Bad, huh? You know what we should do? I got a good idea. Let's all do the following. I don't know if I can do this though. Okay, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so go to Bitfunded. Bitfunded is a prop trading firm. What they do is they allow you to trade with other people's money. But the only way to trade with other people's money, so let's say, for example, you want to trade with $10,000, right? So you pay $99. You got to get 8% in the first stage, 5% in the second stage. Then you're trading with real money, right? And you keep 90% of the profits, they keep 10% of the profits. So let's do a board giveaway thing. What we'll do is we'll do the following. For the next 24 hours and the next 24 hours alone, if you buy one Bitfunded, you will get the equivalent Bitfunded for free. Is that fair? I think that's fair. Okay, let's do it. Buy one and get one free, but only for the next 24 hours. The owner of this company is going to take my balls, slice them off. He's going to kill me. I'm waiting for my phone to ring. Let's just see if he'll even let me do it. Hold on, let's see. Actually, I've already said it, so he actually doesn't have a choice. Buy one, get one free day for the next 24 hours on Bitfunded. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends.